Joining me is Andrew Napier. He's a former producer at the Young Turks. He is also a filmmaker and the director of a new documentary about the Young Turks, Mad as Hell, Rise of the Young Turks. So, Andrew, how'd you start working on this movie?
Well, I started working on the movie not too long after I started working for the Young Turks. I started as an intern there in 2009, and I had finished a documentary not too long before, and I was looking for a new subject to start filming, a new story to tell. And I had known that Cenk was an interesting character on air, but after I got to know him a little bit behind the scenes, I realized he's a interesting character in real life as well, and very soon got interested in telling his story based solely on his history, his past. Little did I know where the story would go over the next 3 years while I worked at TYT.
Right, so the movie focuses around Cenk Uygur, who's host of the Young Turks, for anybody who might not be familiar with that. So you were following him and filming for this movie during the entire process where he started hosting on MSNBC and then eventually left MSNBC amidst some controversy, including that, as Cenk has told us on this show, that they offered him more money, but he was supposed to be less critical of Barack Obama, and they wanted to push him to weekends. So to give us a little bit of a sense, don't give everything away from the movie, but what was it like behind the scenes when all of that stuff was happening?
It was interesting. I was one of the Young Turks at that time, and so for me personally, it was a roller coaster because I didn't know, just like everybody else that worked there, I didn't know if we'd be moving to New York full time or staying in LA or what was going to happen career-wise for us. But I knew what I was capturing was pretty interesting and pretty compelling because I was sort of witnessing firsthand what it takes to get a national TV show. And then I realized I was sort of witnessing what it takes to lose a national TV show.
So talk
And
about that a little bit. Talk about, give us a little bit of any anecdotes that are part of the movie that people are going to see when the movie's out. Give us a little bit of a sense of what's in there.
Sure. Well, and again, when I say how to lose a national TV show, Cenk didn't lose it. It was a conscious decision. What the film shows is sort of it shows the history of Cenk's life and sort of how he got to where he is right before MSNBC, and you see parallels in his past life that sort of lead up to what happened. And when you see all that, it really makes sense what he decided to do because, for example, in his past, when before he went into to follow his dream of becoming a host, he worked as an attorney at a law firm and was doing fairly well and hated it and turned down a lot of money to go to public access. And then when finally, after years of struggling, he got a contract offered to him and the Turks for Sirius Satellite Radio for a substantial amount of money, and they could have taken that, but if they did, they would have had to lose and stop doing the online web show. And back then, YouTube wasn't profitable at all. They just loved doing it, and they turned that down. And so there was a trend in his life of not selling out, of staying true to himself. So the film, it's an American dream story, but it's also very much about staying true to yourself and what you believe in.
All right, I want to mention the fundraiser you have going on to finish up the movie, but before we do that, give us one thing that's in the movie that really is going to surprise people, one behind-the-scene moment that's in there that really people are going to either, they'll certainly may or may not enjoy it, but that will really surprise people that you've captured.
There's a real pinnacle moment where Cenk comes back from New York City, and he'd been gone there for about 6 months hosting the show, and nobody really knew what was happening. And he comes back and sits everybody down at a restaurant. This is before anything was announced publicly, and sort of divulges what exactly happened in the meeting and what was about to happen. And that moment where he sort of told everybody, it was an interesting moment, and then to sort of watch what happened afterwards, was, I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah,
but,
that's good. No, but just the fact that you've documented that's good. We can stop there. So it's interesting both in terms of being involved in political, progressive, independent media. It's interesting as a well-produced documentary, and you've got a fundraiser going on right now to finish this up. Tell people what the fundraiser is and how they can contribute if they want.
It's Indiegogo. It's like Kickstarter, and we're raising funds to finish the post-production of the film. And if you go to Indiegogo.com/madashell, you can help out by pre-ordering the movie, and anything helps. Just sharing it. We've got about 11 days left to raise the money that we need to finish the movie.
All right, we've been speaking with Andrew Napier, former producer at the Young Turks. He's the director of the documentary film Mad as Hell, Rise of the Young Turks. You can go to Indiegogo.com/madashell to pre-order the movie, contribute in any way that you want. Awesome stuff, Andrew. Good luck with the movie. Can't wait to see the finished product.
Thanks a lot, David. I appreciate it.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with plenty more after this.